planning poker, right? Or
Yes. So with our planning poker, we're deciding the estimates for how long each of our story points or days should be. And then the one, I don't know if you saw that, Marco, but I sent a link to mountaingoatsoftware.com. It talks about the planning poker.
okay.
He seemed to be using that one in the test a lot this weekend, so figured I'd send it out in case anyone didn't see it.
There's a planningpoker.com that's an online planning poker thing. Free online Scrum tool. Oh, that's Mountain Gate Software. Oh yeah. Mountain Goat. Are we gonna play it right now?
You need cards, don't you?
That's what I was thinking about, the online one.
Let's see what to start a game.
By the way, Kelsey, how's your husband?
Much better, thanks.
Good.
Yeah.
Up to 10 players for free.
I'll be right back. Hang on a minute, guys.
My wife and I are laughing because our background is our pile of laundry that we usually do in between work and tests as each other's doing homework. So I apologize.
That is
You might see some kids' dirty underwear somewhere. I don't know.
Honestly, all my laundry is sitting in front of me. And so I'll see if you look. It's all just, yep.
I would turn the other way, but my wife takes the other desk. So
no, it's fine. I totally get you. All right. So there is a way. Fine. But I don't know if we all have to have an account.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any like share this game or invite people or.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing.
And there's a bunch of like options. I don't know what any of them mean. Would you like to auto flip the cards after everyone has voted? Yeah, sure. Okay. Each story is online.
can you share that link maybe?
Yeah.
I didn't get it in my email. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, there's chat on there.
Settings.
It's in the chat section on this Hangout.
I'm going.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Each story. So the stories are the stories like finding sponsors,
Yeah.
setting up logistics of the race, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. Is that what the stories are?
I think so, yeah. How much each step is gonna, what we're estimating is how long each step is going to take us.
Okay.
So do you want us to start a game, or what? Are we just waiting still?
I think I found a way to add you to a game.
Okay.
So let me send you this link and see if you guys can all jump on.
Okay, that sounds good.
Jumps on.
Still such a weird idea.
It is kind of a strange
Right?
idea to
I guess if it works.
play poker. Ugh.
Oh, nice.
If we're recording this in our video, one of us probably ought to share the screen of the game.
Oh, do we?
I was just thinking just so that we have it recorded.
Yeah, I can share. What?
Yep. Okay. Well, I guess it might do it for us. So, not really quick.
Does it have to be shared though through the originator of the?
I don't think so. I think, yeah, any of you could.
Because if I don't click on,
And then
unless I click on Tom, it doesn't show, right? So I have to be looking just at Tom.
yeah, so if you click on Tom's, I have to just watch Tom's.
Okay.
Because it shows my screen. So I don't know what the effort will be. I don't know what effort means.
Not in this context.
Okay. Because it gives me the title, so I'm assuming a title would be something like finding sponsors. And then you guys all get to how long it'll take. I don't know what effort would be. So let's try it.
Why not?
Okay. So story 1 of 1, finding sponsors. How long should that take?
These are days, right?
Yeah.
Well, in a true setting, it'd probably take several weeks, right? Because you're going to have to ask, and wait for them to get back, or consult their board or whatever they want to do, or their marketing team.
I'm trying to choose a card and it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Me either.
Is it? Does someone have to go first, or?
I tried mine.
Oh, there we go.
No. Oh. Game summary. 13.
How'd you get that, dude?
I don't know. Did anyone not choose 13?
I was trying to choose 8.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like 13.
But why is it just for Tom showing 13?
I don't know. Tom, how'd you do that?
I don't know. I just kept pushing on stuff, and then I think it's just because it's sharing. Everyone should. I think it's private until they flip over, maybe, or.
No, because I can see it on my screen that you picked 13.
Oh, you can?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, how did I do that?
This thing. Okay. Well, maybe instead, if we can all see the numbers so that we can just make this simple instead of trying to figure out this game, we'll just go through ours, and since we can all see the number, we'll pick the numbers that are below, and then we'll just stick them into a Word document so that we can see what we decided on later. Then we don't have to rely on the game. How does that sound? And we can all just decide at once what we want it to be.
Sure.
Work for everyone. So for sponsors, let's see. Okay, so what did you choose for how long it'll take us to find sponsors?
I was thinking 8 days.
Okay.
Just because to my mind, it's like, okay, we're not getting, the exact terms of the sponsorship and amounts and stuff like that. We're just kind of getting like pledges or commitments from people saying like, oh yeah, sure, we'll sponsor your triathlon. Let's work it out later, kind of thing.
Okay.
That was my thought.
So Tom, what did you say?
I said 13.
Marco, what did you have?
I went with 13.
13. Okay. I actually went with 13 as well.
So is the point of planning poker that we're all supposed to come to a consensus? So we're supposed to discuss. Am I jumping ahead?
No, yeah, I think that's what we're supposed to do, is that we're supposed to decide on a consensus. Let's see. Team is given opportunity to ask questions, discuss, clarify assumptions and risk. So, yeah, I think we're supposed to decide.
Yeah,
So-
repeat the process until consensus is reached.
Okay. So I think the reason why I picked 13 is because I think that 13, if it's like a small town Rexburg triathlon, you could get sponsors and get like their money and things like that within 13 days. So that's why I picked 13. Assuming this triathlon isn't going to be like in the middle of New York City or something.
It's more than 2 full business weeks.
Yeah. That way you could give them notice that you're going to be coming by and picking it up, and that gives them time to do accounting, I think, in my mind. Why did you guys pick 13, Tom and Marco?
I don't know. Seemed like a good number.
I personally just figured that, like Vaughn, it probably wouldn't take that long to get people that would say, yeah, sure, but then, they'd take time for them to decide. And so, depending on what number you have, take 2 weeks for them to actually make a decision and give their donation or whatever.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we want to re-vote?
No.
No. Okay. So we have to come to a consensus. So Vaughn, are you okay if we are at 13, or do you think that's too radical?
Well, I think you guys are just being pessimistic, but the 13's fine.
Okay. All right. So another thing we need to talk about is getting race permits. How long will it take us to get permits from the city in order to hold a race?
No, I think the only issue would be if we're going to be, blocking roads or, needing to reserve huge chunks of public spaces. I can't imagine there'd be any special permitting. It's like, oh, you have to have a permit to have a bunch of people run. It's just like, oh, yeah, sure, let's reserve you this chunk of the park for your run or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fairly easy as well.
Yeah. I think mostly it's just things, you can't have, if you're going to have a triathlon, you're going to have like lots of bikers on the road and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only reason we would need them, so they wouldn't be too lengthy. So, if we are all ready to vote, Tom, what number would you put down for that in days?
I say 3.
All right, and Marco?
I'm going to say 8.
8. All right, and Vaughn?
Well, I was actually going to go with 21 because I know how slow city government runs.
Okay. All right, and I said 8 too, so I figured that would give them a week. Oh, we have a very big range of numbers here.
Well, and I truthfully side with Vaughn on that because, put it in perspective. I don't know if you guys have ever bought a house or built a house. It takes quite a bit just to get permitted for them to go through the details. They want a plan. You have to submit paperwork and tell them all that you're going to do, the infrastructure, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like if they're going to have to, because they're going to have police on hand. Who's going to pay the overtime?
Right.
There's a lot of, if food vendors are going to be involved or, sponsors and whatever at the end or the start and finish, it's not going to be, they just pick a park and put it there, right?
Right. So that actually sounds very reasonable to me. Are you okay with that, Tom?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. So we've raised permits at 21. All right, the next one we have is determining the race route. How long that will take us to kind of map out and figure the distance and things like that.
I say 2 days.
Who was that?
This is Marco. I said 2 days. Just because we'd probably drive it. You have to have a certain amount of, complexity. Can't all be downhill, can't all be uphill.
Yeah, I would say 1 or 2 days.
All right. What are you thinking, Tom? Are you okay with 2 days?
Yep. Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe like a day to plan it all out and a day to like drive through it and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is deciding. I lumped advertising into one because I feel like for a race it could be done in like one lump. I guess that includes things like making the posters, like designing the posters, printing out posters, asking people to hang them up, things like that. Is all lumped into advertising and deciding how you're going to advertise and how many days that's going to take.
Well, it can't be.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, in my mind, when I think of something like this, your success is totally dependent on advertising. So if you don't have a length of time to get the word out, then your publicity and your support, your participation is going to be so small it might not even matter.
Right. Okay, so I don't think I explained that well enough. I meant advertising mostly as like preparatory advertising, not the like amount of time, but I guess we could add that in too. Just how long it would take you to get all your flyers made and passed out. And then we can add in the amount of days that they'll actually be hanging in public spaces. So how long we want to advertise for.
Yeah, if we count in like the actual time of the advertising campaign, that would probably put it up at 34 or so.
Okay.
But on the other hand, and I'm going way, I'm not talking about prep, but, and you guys that have ran a race would probably understand better, though. You got to advertise, and then people are going to train, right? It's going to be something that they want to work out for. So I'm saying in my mind, you got 3 to 6 months just to get it out there so that people are ready, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So from a prep time, though, for paper and everything else, you still have a week, because depending on how many flyers, how you collate, because they charge by color, they charge by, there's a whole bunch of different methods that they charge on design.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I would put it up. I guess our highest number is 89, because it really does take quite a lot of time to train, especially for something as big as a triathlon. I mean, if it was a 5K, most people who run often can do a 5K over the weekend, but a triathlon's a much bigger commitment.
Well, and you're competing with other races too. So if you want people to come, you got to really spend the money and time to get it out there, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Nice thing about that is with such a long time for allowing people to train and prepare, is that can also overlap with the time it takes us to get the permits and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. All right. So, Marco, what was your final number on that?
The highest, 89, I assume.
89. Okay.
And that's 89 days. So really, that's not that much. But I guess for what we have, that's what we got, right?
So, Vaughn, are you okay if we push that back up to 89?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I wasn't thinking about the training time.
I didn't even think about that either. Another thing we need to consider is gathering volunteers, and how long that's going to take.
So let me step back, though, to what Vaughn was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So if we went, let's say we said 6 months as a combined storyline, right? So 6 months for training, our total should be, that time frame, because everything will fit inside of that time, right?
Right.
Because like Kelsey, you could be getting advertising prep, and I could be getting sponsors, and Vaughn could be, hanging posters type thing,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, do you jump to something like that? You see what I'm saying? Do you just say 6 months, that's our number? Or do you got to identify each portion within that? Because there's going to be time that's going to be quiet, right? So if you say a week for this, a week for that, you still have 2.5 months to deal with, or 3.5 months to deal with.
Right.
And it's a question.
Yeah. I think I don't know, this is personally, I think for our circumstance right now, I don't think we need to go like number by number. We're going to do this and this, because that just adds to the complexity, I guess, that we don't want to get too lost in. But again, I don't want to make it too simple either. So
I think it works if we kind of consider it, bit by bit right now. Whether or not the time actually overlaps. This particular part of the project is, we are estimating is going to take this amount of time, regardless of what can be accomplished at the same time.
Okay.
So actually, that's why so do we want to split up the time that advertising prep and actual time advertising would be?
Yeah, probably, if you're going to do it that way.
Okay. I think that the whole prep of making posters and stuff would only take us 1 or 2 days. But the actual time advertising, I still think that 89, the highest number, would be a good option.
I think advertising prep, I'm at a week, just because you send it to them, they're going to print it, they're going to send you back a proof, say, do you agree? Send it back, and then they fit it into their production.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so 5 or 8 on that one, I would think.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we're going with 5 days. Yeah, I think 5 sounds good. I actually work in the English office on campus, and it takes us about 5 days when we make posters for them to print it out and send it back, and all those things that you mentioned. Another thing that we're going to need to consider is figuring out timing, how we're going to time everyone, especially where you have a swimming event. If you're going to have timing chips on their shoe, or if you're going to have it on their bib, things like that. And you're going to have to find someone to do it if we don't already have the supplies.
They actually pin something like that on you?
Yeah, so they have the race bibs. They can stick a timing chip on the back of them. And so they kind of mark when you cross the line at first, and then when you cross it at the end. Or sometimes they have ones that will tie to your shoe, so that when your shoe crosses, it starts it, and when it crosses again, it stops. That way they just know like exactly your time, instead of like if you were too far in the back and then had to move forward, you didn't get there in time.
So you're talking just the technology for timing people, getting the technology set up. Well, I would imagine that there's all kinds of rental kits available from, there's probably some regional, sports authority or something like that that's got just a huge warehouse full of things like that you can rent for a day.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably got a technician to set it up too. So that would probably take maybe 5 days to, locate the website and call a phone number and get the scheduling figured out for that.
Get everything sorted. If we're renting it like that, I think it would only take 3, personally, because I don't feel like they often take that much time to schedule out and things like that. But I could be wrong. I guess I've never really had to check out doing technology for a race.
Well, and I don't know, but I imagine, are the strips like throwaway or, that just attach? Yeah, so you probably order them from somewhere. You probably can't rent those. You probably have to buy, right? And you'd have to buy, lump sum so that. And then do you have to program them or?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that you probably don't. It's probably like Vaughn said. You probably have some software that just starts detecting them all, and you set them all at 0, and away you go, type thing. But
Right.
I think I'm leaning towards 5 just for sake of shipping and setup.
Sounds good. And I totally skipped over gathering volunteers, but we need to do that one too. Just getting people to stand at aid stations or say like runners on road holding signs, maybe, or even first aid, volunteer first aid if someone needs it.
That'd take maybe a day. Just set up a couple tables at high traffic areas on campus or something like that, and just be like, "Hey, we're doing a triathlon. If you want to volunteer, sign this paper. Give us your email address." You'll get a ton of people just in a day.
So I think it would take more like a week. If I saw someone on campus, I don't think I'd stop and volunteer. Maybe I'm a worse person than most people on campus, but I don't know. I think it'd take a little bit longer-ish.
I think I'm going with you on that one too, because you're going to stop somebody. They're going to say yes. How do you confirm that they're going to be that? You're going to have to check up and verify. And if you're short, you got to have more than a day just to make sure.
So, you're pretty varied on that one.
I said a week, so, or whatever kills. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 8. Yeah, we'll go with 8. Majority rules, I guess, on this one. So, what else do we need to do? We need to figure out how to get people signed up and if it's going to cost them money. What information we need from them when they sign up. So,
registration,
yeah, that's a good word for it. Registration. I think all together, just getting everything set up before, not actually the days of registration. Because I think that they should be able to register the entire time like that we're advertising. So to me, those are the same. But getting everything ready for registration, I think would take, I don't know, probably only 5 days. Set up, maybe have a website ready that they can sign up on and things like that.
Well, if you're building a website, that's going to take at least probably a couple weeks to get it working properly.
Or I guess Google Forms. That's my version of a website.
Well, that's pretty easy then. Yeah, that could work for sure.
Well, but then I guess you're just doing setup, right? You're not counting like if I mail it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if the registration period is the same as the marketing period.
Mm-hmm.
So do we need to say registration setup and then actual registration period?
Sure. You can say that. For the whole registration period, I give them the full 89.
Yeah. I'll go with setup for 5, same as.
So on, yeah, for registration setup, are you good with 5?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
if we're just going to use a Google form or something like that, and yeah.
Yeah, something simple. And then we're gonna have the registration the same as the advertising period. And I think that pretty much covers the basics that I can think of. Can anyone think of anything else that we might need to consider?
No, because I think everything, for the most part, it's down to the individual racer to take care of their own gear and stuff like that, right?
So does like strategically planning, water stations or bikers on road or whatever. I mean, does that fall under the race route?
Probably. I would put it under there. Which I think might actually boost mine if we stick it under that envelope to probably 5 days instead of only 2.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea. Just include the details of the route in the route planning, and so bump up a couple days on that one.
Okay, you sold me.
Okay.
Well, I'll say yes to anything at this point because it's 2.5 hours past my bedtime, but
Come on, you keep saying that, Vaughn, but you're a college student. How is that your bedtime?
because I work in the mornings.
Yeah. And you don't want to know what my bedtime is.
No, well, I know what time you get home from work, so I can guess.
And I got 4 little kids that wake me up at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, jeez.
Okay, so I think based on our deliverables, we are actually good. If anyone can think of anything else. See, we have the results from planning poker. This was kind of like our daily scrum that we had, our stand-up meeting. And then we can make notes on this video. I can do that easily. It's not, I stay up late too, so more homework to do tonight. So that's easy for me to do. Record this meeting, so this will go onto the discussion board with the link. And I think that's good unless anyone else can think of anything we need to do.
If Marco's happy, I'm happy.
I'm always happy.
Okay.
I think we did a good job.
I just emailed that to all y'all.
So does only one of us has to, this is for the sprint review, right? So only one of us has to turn it in.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm
And
pretty
does
sure.
I was just going to say, so do we have to reply to, because have you noticed on the other ones that like when we did our video presentation, only certain people replied, not everybody from other groups replied. So
Yeah. I actually I emailed the teacher about that, and I didn't really get a straight answer because I may not have asked the question. But he just kind of said that everyone needs to comment, and not just certain people.
yeah, but that didn't.
But that's what
That's not what happened in the last 3 presentations. So
right. And I don't think I got docked for not replying.
yeah,
But I could be.
okay.
I think that's what the deal is that everybody is supposed to comment on some videos, not everybody on all videos.
Okay.
I don't know. That's been the pattern for most of my classes.
Oh, on everything I've taken is you have to reply 3 times to every single board, no matter what. So, and that's why I'm asking. I mean, I don't care. I don't think this teacher is honestly graded negatively at any point. So,
No. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I guess if you have time and you want to comment.
okay, we're good then.
Yeah. And I will post this to the discussion board so you guys do what you need to do.
You're the best.
Okay.